right now, we have both of these teams. Looks like they are both ready to go. So I believe we are going to send you down to the field in just a few moments. But do you have a feeling of who might take this game here?
I got to go with Trash just based on the legacy, to be honest with you. Thanks for putting me on the spot there, Cobra. I definitely appreciate it. As we get into the kickoff, I'm going to have to return the favor here. Do you think Ignis can pull off the technical upset?
You know, I think it's a little bit too early in the season for them to take this win. I think, you know, maybe if they keep up this run of form and kind of run into them in the playoffs, I think this is absolutely, you know, maybe some upset potential here. But they maybe try to shut me up. Hold on. That is a wonderful double touch here, and Caster Curse, if I have ever heard that. Yeah, 1-0 here.
Yeah, that is a beautiful shot right there, being able to get the angle. Somebody clearly studied geometry in grade school. As of course you see Trash Esports in the green right now and Team Ignis in the blue. Of course, you know, you got to get that waste management color as this gets thrown down the field by Trash Esports. We're going to see this ball at center. Nico has an opportunity. He's going to equalize. We've seen 2 goals in literally 34 seconds. I'm expecting to see more.
Yeah, wonderful read here, and just that corner got a little bit congested there, and I think there was multiple players unfortunately bounced off in the perfect trajectory for that goal for Trash. They even it out here.
They certainly do. Is Murky going to get a nice demo here and be able to carry it through one? Gorilla Plane, what a name first off. Going to try to get this through, not able to. Just Tuck going to come around the other side. We have another player on Trash Esports coming down. It's Nico, not able to make contact. The 1v1 opportunity going to be cut off by Murky to send this over to the corner. Gorilla Plane looking for a teammate. He's going to take it himself. Backside demo going to free up a ton of space. This game is kind of slowed down just a bit. Obviously, it's only been an extra 30 seconds, but right now, both teams seeming to get settled, Cobra.
Ooh, a wonderful shot coming in here from Team Ignis. And I think both these teams starting to realize they have to pay a little bit of respect off, you know, to both teams. They seem fairly mechanical. They're, you know, creating quite a few opportunities, and it's really going to be who makes less mistakes in this one. I can tell early that we are going to get quite a few chances. Another one goes careening off the wall, just a little off target.
Oh, it's a great touchdown, but they can't make the read, and Just Tuck is third. Gonna have to go all the way back on this one. Gets bumped to the ceiling, not gonna be able to recover. Murky gonna cut rotation here, get a shot up, and nobody expects it on the side of Team Ignis. It's gonna be 2-1 in favor of Trash Esports.
Yeah, I thought that offensive opportunity kind of died. Just Tuck got bumped off the play, so if you're Team Ignis, you're thinking up, and I think, you know, there was just that one, you know, image where they just kind of let go. What a double tap there, and Nickel will bring them back. The equalizer here, and what a nutty angle.
I have no words. Are you kidding me? Okay, so we just hit 178-degree bangers now. It is what it is. The talent in the IGL circuit this time around. Obviously, this is an invitational. Obviously, these are the best teams in the league, but Jesus Christ, what an angle coming out right there. Of course, from Nickel, able to equalize the game, 2:20 left, but Nickel last in rotation as one gets demoed. It's gonna be awkward in the front. Nico looking for a touch, gonna be cut off by Nickel. Does a great job of just stalling time to allow his teammates to get back after those demos, but that's a rocket on net. Gorilla Plane's gonna make a save.
2 minutes remaining, and now both teams are, you know, taking big swings here. They're really trying to open up each offense here and create multiple opportunities. Brissinger has a little bit of room here, but not going to be able to get a follow-up here. It is going to be up to Nickel. Shot on target, but Nico sends it away. Just Tuck now setting up the offense for Trash Esports.
Yep, and not much doing right there as Nico's actually going to get this to the mid. Brissinger with a great touch. Nickel is up on this, going to start the air dribble, continue it over off the left side wall. It's Just Tuck, a little bit awkward, going to kick it out. Brissinger already there, already up on it, looking for a flip reset, not going to find it. The pass over to Gorilla Plane, going to be just cut off by Murky. Gets there in time as Just Tuck gets a huge dunk. Brissinger going to be a bit awkward here, doesn't get the touch that they're looking for. It's Murky kicks this one out. Gorilla Plane has to get a decent touch here, and they do. They kick it up high, but a boost steal coming out from Murky. This is going to be a big opportunity. The second one comes in, and Brissinger going to make a save, but it's over the top. Nickel somehow diving across the net. There's a minute left in the game, and somehow Ignis survives that offensive onslaught.
Yeah, they needed absolutely everybody there, and it felt like each opportunity had so much venom on it, but they managed to keep alive. But for how much longer? Another shot going to be parried away by Gorilla Plane, and they have to find some relief here. They have to at least create some offense on the other side. Brissinger putting a shot on, but I think they need to see maybe that team play or another backboard shot. I would love to see Team Ignis really open it up.
Oh, this is going to be an open ball in front. Gorilla Play just decides to take the shot instead of taking it slow, and Murky's going to be able to cut that one off. 30 seconds to go right now. The backboard barrage is continuing right now for Ignis, but they are finding no openings to get those shots onto net or dangerous enough to really make Trash Esports worry. This might be a passing opportunity. Going to have a little bit too much mustard on it. Is Gorilla Play going to touch this one back down? Murky has no boost whatsoever. Nickel is up on this, taking it to the skies, looking for another touch, not able to find it. Just Tuck going to kick it down. Here's Brissinger going to keep it in the air instead of killing it. They believe they have an opportunity, but Nico's going to shut that down. It's a shot on net. Murky's going to kick it out to the side, and it's going to be down. Overtime in game number 1.
Yeah, I think both of these teams, they had a lot of great ideas, but the defense up to the task as well. We'll see what defense really breaks first here as Nickel going to get some free room to work with. Middle of the field, Brissinger not going to get a clear shot.
Yeah, Christinger not able to really get that one through as Gorilla Plane just going to sit back on that front post. We're going to see Just Tuck should be able to catch up to this, but no boost to their name. Not able to get it through as this is going to be once again skied through the midfield. A little doink coming out. Colin Stumpy would be proud for certain as Brissinger going to be able to clear this one out. The free jump from Tuck. Do they have the second touch? Oh, going to be just high off the crossbar. That would have been insane. And now Nico going with the opportunity. The save and the dunk by Murky. Going to keep it in, and we're seeing a game 1 for Trash Esports. But Jesus, was that hard fought.
Just too strong here. Nickel in the perfect position, and you'd expect that ball maybe to go a little bit towards the middle of the field, but just unfortunately bounces right back up into the path of the attacker. That's a great win for Trash Esports, but that really could have gone either way there. I'm expecting a long series here.
Yeah, it is something. That was a standout game 1 right there. A ton of shots poured on offensively on both ends. 11 for Trash Esports. Team Ignis coming out with 9. Lots of play back and forth. Trash Esports really took over that game in the middle half of it, basically. That outside 2 minutes and 30 seconds had a ton of possession. Weren't able to convert. Ignis fights their way back in, and we play about a minute of overtime. We get a 50-50 goal coming up from Trash Esports. It's definitely beautiful to see. I mean, Team Ignis definitely has a fighting chance in the series. I expect it to go to the distance at this point.
Yeah, and I think there was a small bit before we ended regulation where Team Ignis was knocking at the door. I think they had a lot of great ideas, but it seemed to be that final shot that didn't quite come off the way that they would like. They had a couple infield passes, they had some plays from the corner, that they just weren't able to get that final definitive shot that truly tested the keepers of Trash Esports. I think they're just like a bit away. I think they have to keep trying those ideas and really break down Trash Esports, and there's going to be a couple of those shots that will go through.
Yeah, they just have to go full Taking Back Sunday on them. You know, I just want to break you down so badly. It's going to be one of those games. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be hard fought. Both of these teams very offensively capable coming in, and Gorilla Plane almost gets one on target to start this off. Murky with a phenomenal 50-50. I don't know how he got back to that one, but this is going to be a shot on target by Nickel, and that is going to be a dagger straight into the net, and that's one way to start it out, 1-0.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes to what Team Ignis' plan is. They're forcing some of these awkward touches for Trash. You know, obviously Trash have the pedigree. You know, one of these, I would consider them almost a blue blood in the Summer Invitational. But, you know, we know what they're going to bring to the table, but you have to continue to force them to make these saves. What a wonderful pass there. The pinch off the corner, back to the middle of the field. Gorilla Plane is going to say thank you very much for that.
And not only that, the small fake by Gorilla Plane, knowing that Murky has to come off of the backboard and come down to him to make the challenge, delays it half a millisecond, allows him to fly by and get the flick over the top. That is just next level galaxy brain thinking right there. And Nickel's going to take to the skies almost immediately off of this, and Nico's just going to pop it straight down on the ground. The bumpets have almost working out for Team Ignis. They are really piling it on early here. Already 4 shots in 30 seconds, Cobra.
Yeah, absolutely. But now it's Trash Esports' time to respond, and we see them early going with that infield pass. Yeah, I think, you know, both teams kind of showing that they have quite a bag of tricks when it comes to their, offensive repertoire here. So I think we're going to see some stuff. There's not going to be, anything kind of left on the table for both of these squads. So still plenty of time in this one. 2 goals were scored, but in only a minute. There's 4 minutes left to play.
Oh, my. That's a great touch down in front. Nickel's going to find the slot once again. Nickel is popping off in this game number 2, looking to make a statement after that game 1 loss in overtime, and the 3-0 lead right now for Team Ignis. They are just coming out firing, and they are not being denied.
Yeah, and I think this is huge. They're really keeping Trash Esports grounded on their back line. No one on the backboard to stop that. They're all kind of on the goal line, and they all have to make a reaction save here. Another shot off the crossbar and deflected off a player. And right now, Team Ignis maybe downloaded Trash Esports a little bit. They've seemed to really come into form here.
Yeah, I mean, you could say they downloaded them. I personally believe they have a clown scarf of just tricks they're continuing to pull out. You're like, when can it end? They have everything going on right now. As Gorilla Plane's going to make a nice save. Prisoner going to get that over to the side. Can they get the second touch? No. Nico's just going to take a pot shot on net. And at this point, you can't really expect to do that to get back in this game against Ignis. They are 2-1 so far in the Invitational. They have been a strong team, and I don't really think just taking pot shots at the net is exactly the key to success.
Yeah, exactly. You need some higher quality opportunities, and I think right there was just, maybe testing the waters, just trying to create a little bit of space. But I think both teams have proven that you have to, really take that extra touch, that extra pass, and not shoot on a well-defended net. But that one is going to be caught out. The defensive rotation just not able to make it back in time. And Trash Esports will catch him out here.
Yeah, I mean, Nickel just being super aggressive, not really knowing if they are third in rotation right there. Kind of gets caught out in no man's land, not able to catch up to that one. And it's going to get a goal right here for Trash Esports. We're going to see if they can bank some of momentum off of that, or if they're going to continue going this way. Is Gorilla Plane going to sky that one over to the left-hand side? It's going to be Nickel who gets the touch. Brisinger, free shot on net, going to play it high off the backboard. Murky's going to get that, but it's a double commit, so it's going to be a little bit of tough sledding ahead for the defense right now of Trash Esports as this is kicked down by Gorilla Plane. We're going to see Tuck get this one up. It's a name I haven't said a lot so far, but we said it a lot in game number 1, Cobra.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for both of these teams, we see Nickel kind of being that impact player, but I feel like everyone's really playing their part here. And for a game like this, when maybe both opponents are or both teams rather, are feeling like they are, well, you know what? I'm not going to finish my thought because I think we are going to have to talk about that. I was going to talk about, everyone's in full form and, they're playing probably at the top of their game. Everyone's peaking, and then we have something like this. So I think I just have to shut my mouth just a second.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to be honest with you. I believe that is a peak in and of itself, right? You got no boost pre-flip into your own net. It doesn't get much better than that, sadly. So I know I definitely struggle with shots like that being my best one sometimes. So they just, sometimes they fall on the wrong net. You got to get over it as Murky is up on this one right now. We're going to see it played over to the side. 4-1 count right now for Team Ignis as they are taking it to Trash Esports and nothing really doing right now. Big fake in front, but Murky unfortunately not able to get through that one as Tuck is going to get dunked as well. Brisinger going to go over to the side. Nice pass to the midfield, but Murky is there to receive and cut off the pass. The pressure continues, however, as it's still in front. Nickel tries to catch this one. That would have been an insane play in and of itself once again. Unfortunately, not able to convert. This ball is going to be in front of the blue box. Once again, it's a light touch on net, and Nico's going to be able to handle it as Nickel comes flying in. The bump and tip not going to matter. The woodwork makes another save, and Ignis is not slowing down at all, Cobra.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nickel's definitely feeling themselves. It's one of those things you're kind of watching in the rotations, and there's definitely been maybe a few. There's been a few opportunities where I feel like Nickel has had the opportunity to turn back into the ball, and the teammates have just kind of let them when someone has the hot hand, you're like, you know what, you can go for that extra touch. Like, you can cut rotation here. I'll allow that. Nickel's right now feeling themselves, and because of the hot start Team Ignis had, it really just never felt that Trash Esports had a way back into it.
Yeah, I mean, so far, and you're right. I mean, we're seeing, 25-24 tick down the clock, and it's definitely been a game that has been dominated by the pace of play at Ignis. And we were asking if they can make the adjustment because Trash Esports looked like the faster team in game number 1. Well, I came to tell you right now that they made that adjustment and they're looking strong because of it. And it's something I definitely love to see when you see high-level Rocket League teams like these two coming in and able to make those adjustments so quickly in a series, knowing that a best of 5, you lose 2, you're already on series point. It does not bode well for your chances unless you can adapt quickly. And it's something that we saw out of Ignis this time. They really took it to Moist Esports, or I'm sorry, Trash Esports. Why did I just say Moist? And it's going to go to the sheer fact that, I mean, it's up to Trash now to make the readjustment. And we're going to see if they try to take more possession plays, maybe try to get those midfield passes and try to slow down the pace of play that Ignis brought in game number 2.
Yeah, I think really for Trash Esports, it was that first minute of play that really kind of sealed the deal for this game, unfortunately. I don't really expect them to kind of get bombarded like that again, but they have to make sure they keep it close. I don't think they're going to be able to come back from a 3-0 deficit like we saw in this game. They have to keep it a 1 or 2 score game, and it feels like they're going to have to start getting a little bit gritty. They have to get physical. They've kind of gotten in spots where Team Ignis has really grounded them. They've taken their boost. They've had a lot of freedom on the back wall, in the corners, in the infield passes, and there's passing lanes are open. So Trash Esports now needing to make a change, making sure that they are really making those adjustments to kind of stop those ingresses.
And I mean, it's again, the onus is on Ignis to continue this pressure, and it's also on Trash just to find a way to be able to deal with it. And at the end of the day, we're going to see what happens here. It's going to be game number 3, series tied 1-1. Like I said, I expect this to go the distance after game number 1, how close it was in overtime. And as of right now, it doesn't look like we're going to be denied that. These heavyweights just punching back and forth, both teams, again, 2-1. So we're going to see how this plays out and who can go on into that 1-loss streak.
Yeah, so we have a quick pause as we are waiting for a player to, with some connection issues. They'll be back in just a moment. But I want to talk a little bit about Nickel. So Nickel seemed to really kind of come alive in that game, and they had a ton of not only goal participation, but just they were almost instilling a little bit of fear in that back line of Trash Esports with the mechanics, with some of the off-ball plays. How do you think Trash Esports can stop a player like that?
I mean, if a player is feeling themselves and they're taking heat check shots like that angle that we saw out of Nickel on that double tap, you just kind of got to deal with it. It's like watching prime Josh Gordon just run over like the entire NFL with Brandon Wheaton as his quarterback. Like, man had 1,600 yards and like I think it was 14 games because he was suspended the first 2 because of Josh Gordon things. Like, you have to take that and you have to know that, hey, Nickel might get 1 or 2 of these. How do we create our offense to be able to at least come back and possibly overcome this man when he's hitting every single heat check? He's hitting Steph Curry threes from midcourt, basically. It doesn't matter at this point anymore. I'm going to stop with sports analogies because this is esports at the end of the day. But it's just when you're hitting 140, like literally, 178-degree angles, double taps, just insanity. You're not going to be able to deal with that as a team. Sometimes people are just better individually. You have to beat them as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a little bit of what we have to see from Trash Esports. We didn't quite see many individual, dribble plays kind of creating space. We didn't really see them breaking out of their own half to kind of buy some more time for their teammates. We only saw 1 goal, which was that, kind of heave from past midfield, kind of on a broken defensive rotation. Not a lot more manufactured goals on the side of Trash Esports. So a very different look from them from game 1 into game 2. I'd like to see them go back to that. They had, again, it looked very much like a heavyweight fight. They're both throwing haymakers at each other, but they seemed a little bit more tempered. They got shell-shocked at the beginning, so they started to go on the defensive, kind of leaning on the ropes a little bit. I expect them to kind of take a step back into the middle of the match.
And I mean, for me, after you get knocked down, right, you have to get back up. So we're going to see what happens to Trash Esports right now, because like you said, there's no manufactured goals. They got a lucky long goal. Like those aren't going to happen all the time. Teams aren't going to continually overcommit. And that is definitely something that isn't going to happen again because it already happened, right? Ignis is going to be watching for that, going to be playing their third a little bit further back because their two-man offense was great. It was phenomenal, basically for the whole entire last game. So we're going to see Gorilla playing off the ceiling to start this one off. Just a little pinch over to the side. Brissinger going to get a touch on this. What happened to the defense? Nickel might have an open shot. And it's off the post. Okay, that's how we're going to start this one off. The post, the woodwork coming through clutch. Murky going to get a center here, and Brissinger going to be a little bit awkward, able to get that one away onto Gorilla Plains Hood. And that's how we're going to start out game number 3.
I think that is such an important goal to not go in here, because for Trash Esports, that is probably just a morale killer right there. You have Gorilla Plains starting off that attack, going off the ceiling, you know, with the touch off of the ground to someone else. All of a sudden, no one's on the back line, and they're looking at basically a free net. Luckily for them, that shot just a little bit off target, but they didn't seem like, maybe with the break, you're thinking how the team might cool down a little bit. No, they're going to keep on their great form here, and immediately, that was a heat check, like, team setup there.
It definitely was. We're going to see. I kind of like what I'm seeing so far. That's a great demo by Nickel to free up the space, but Murky's going to get back to it. I really like what I'm seeing right now out of Trash Esports. They're playing a little bit gritty. They're slowing the pace down. They're taking really close 50-50s, just kind of making this a midfield battle right now. That's basically nobody's destined to win because both these teams are mechanical enough to not let anything happen. As Nickel looking for the flick, not able to find it. We just lost Nico, unfortunately, as well. Murky's going to continue on when you're past the minute mark, which I believe is the rule for IGL. It's a great flick over the top as well. We're going to be looking at a 2v3. Murky going to play this off the backboard, get a demo in the back as well, but Tuck has no boost whatsoever to their name. But the pressure is still going to continue, and Trash Esports doing a good job of just keeping this right now in the Ignis half, just to be able to keep themselves alive until Nico can get back.
Yeah, there's not many situations where you have to learn how to play in 2v3 situations, but this is a really good example of how to do that. You kind of have to play slow, you have to play in control, and just always have a little bit of presence on the ball. And they're doing a really good job of trying to buy as much time as possible, because again, you cannot stop this match after a certain amount of time, and both of these teams are kind of playing through it. And for Trash Esports, it's kind of trying to maintain so they don't give up an open net. Unfortunately, their luck will end right here. Team Ignis will put one on the board.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you send two for it, you get the pass to the midfield, they trust each other enough to go for it, and because you only have two members, you get punished. I don't really have anything else to say about that one. There's no analysis to break down. They're down a person. They sent both at it. That's going to happen, unfortunately. Is Murky actually going to win a kickoff here and potentially keep pressure? And Tuck in a very aggressive position might get rewarded for it if Brissinger can't get a strong clear right here. So there's the carry. There's the air dribble into a beautiful flip cancel to be able to get that ball straight back. And it's another play off the ceiling, looking for the touchdown. Not going to be able to find it to Gorilla, as this one's going to be over the top. And Murky's going to do another good job of busting this one downfield. As just Tuck gets a shot down the pitch once again, going to be played over to Nickel. And it's just going to be so difficult at this point for the Trash Esports to come back when you're sitting a man down. You have to realize that you have to play a little bit more passive, but it's hard to play passive when you're down one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, at this point, you got to sit in the house. They almost get a look at the net right there. But, they're continuing to play. I really do like how they are trying to, switch off the roles in terms of pressure. They're keeping Ignis only down to 1, which is impressive in and of itself. But, how long can they last here? For those of you that are wondering what happened, it was the player, Nico, that unfortunately was having some internet issues before. I think the internet issues unfortunately striking yet again here. And unfortunately, Just Tuck unable to get back out of the net to get the save on this one. It'll be 2-0 Team Ignis.
Yeah, the backside demo plus the bump in front, basically clearing out everybody that could have had a chance at saving that ball. Going to be 2-0 right now in favor of Ignis, and we're going to see the kickoff go in favor. Murky might actually be able to do something with this, but he is out of boost, unfortunately. Nickel's going to get credited with the save, and they're just biding their time right now, and they're basically playing this like a twos game, but versus 3 people. They are keeping one person on the ball. They are sending the other one to play defense and kind of just letting it come to them. And right now, it hasn't resulted in a ton of pressure from Team Ignis. Only 5 shots and basically what's been a literal 2v3 the entire time, and there's an opportunity, but Tuck can't get it through. And oh man, I would have loved to see that go just for the storyline, because that was a very, very close play. Unfortunately, not rising up.
Yeah, and you know, respect to Team Ignis for how they are playing this. You know, I don't think they necessarily feel great about winning a game like this. They'll obviously take it, but yeah, they're sending to. They're also some, you know, a strategy that a lot of people employ when things like this do happen is they get overly aggressive. They do go at players because of the differential here, but they're not really doing that. They're not really relying on that demolition game to, you know, create an even greater disadvantage here for Trash Esports. But you know, the caveat to that is, you know, that one person back, you do leave a little bit of space sometimes for one player to get forward. But time is running out here. It will be another game win for Team Ignis. They will be on match point, and hopefully before this next match starts, we can get the internet situation figured out, so we'll have more of an even playing field.
It just sucks when you have to play through a 2v3, and of course it's not like anything could really happen. We can't cancel the game, unfortunately, as much as I know everybody who's watching the stream right now would, just because I mean, these two teams, it's been a fire matchup in game number 1. Game number 2 was pretty darn close. Obviously more in favor of Ignis, but not much you can do right there. We have Nico back, so fingers crossed right now that this is going to be able to come through. Trash Esports trying to make this 2-2 now on series point. We're going to see if they can bring it through.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Trash Esports, obviously a little bit of uncertainty. And again, no one's fault. Just happens to be the internet connection not being the most stable for one of the players. But, you know, they have everybody online here, so it looks like we are going to get the full roster back for this one. Hopefully we don't encounter any more future issues. But for Trash Esports, you know, it is it's an opportunity for them to kind of regroup. They're able to take a little bit, and I think Murky and Just Tuck, you know, if they weren't warmed up before, they definitely are warmed up now, because they played extremely well for being at a disadvantage for so long. They created a little bit of pressure. They were able to, you know, stave off Team Ignis attack for at least the majority of that game number 3. So very excited to see, you know, everyone back in the fray. It looks like excited for game number 4.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see it as well. And I mean, I see in chat right now, Trash is so amazing. They literally just held a 2v3 at this level to 2-0. I got to agree with you. That's a great showing from them, even though it's not the result that they wanted. At the end of the day, you have to hold your head up proud and be like, hey, we literally, you know, and the opportunity there from Tuck at the end too. It could have very easily been a 2-1 game. The pressure could have flipped on its head. It was very, very close. So we're going to see what ends up happening here, as I believe we're waiting for Nico to get his internet fixed again. I think it might have dropped. So guys, I'm not going to disparage anybody, but we are not sponsored. So Spectrum, get your stuff together.
But we're not opposed to sponsors. So if you know, you do want these two wonderful casters, you know, say nice things about your product, we are more than willing to do that for a price, of course. But speaking of, you know, things that are kind of sponsored, League OS, they are the ones that are powering this whole invitational. So props to them. They're really nice, and they have a wonderful kind of system behind them in order to kind of track our tournaments, in order for us to actually put this production on. So props to them, League OS. If you haven't heard of it, you should go take a look.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, they made it super easy for us as casters as well, right? We literally just have to click a video button to get in. So it's definitely something that I love to see. Definitely a little bit more inventive, and also to have a tournament format that can accept this basically modified Swiss bracket, right? It's not easy to set up a bracket to run like this on traditional platforms at all. So shout out to League OS for handling this the way that they do, of course. So we're gonna see what we can do, of course, with the Nico internet situation. It's just going to be one of those things where we have to kind of wait it out. So guys, thanks for vibing with us. Thanks for chilling with us. We always appreciate that. And Cobra, if it is a 3v3, I got to go ahead and ask you a question. If it is a 3v3, is it going to be time for Trash Esports to send this to 5?
Yeah, it's a really good point. I think, you know, I have to be very careful with how I word this, because as soon as I said one thing in favor of a team, that team that team was immediately scored on. But I do really have to give props to the way Team Ignis has come out and really kind of set a tone here for this game. Nickel, I kind of underrated the player. I think mechanically very, very gifted, and Brissinger and Gorilla playing, I think they're playing really well together. I think just because of how hot they're playing right now, I think they would have the edge if we go to this game number 4. But Trash Esports, when they have everything working for them, that includes internet and the entire team being there, I think they could compete with anybody. They're one of those teams. Again, it's a blue blood organization. Try saying that a couple times fast. But they're gonna be around. They're here to stay. I think their pedigree speaks for itself. And right now, it's just a little unfortunate that we might not be able to see that action here.
Yep, so we're gonna keep our fingers crossed for right now, and it looked like it might have happened. He's back. We'll see for how long. Hopefully he doesn't drop out mid-match again. We're gonna get into this match. Of course, Team Ignis right now on series point has the ability to go to 3-1 on the season, and we're gonna see right now if Trash Esports can bring it back. Of course, in the green, Nickel and crew sitting in the blue right now. So we're underway. 10 seconds in, not much going on, just a midfield presence. Once again, Gorilla Plane not able to make the touch, but Nickel is able to get one towards Puck. Actually almost out of boost. This is going to be extremely dangerous. There's a shot on net. Double crossbar save once again. The woodwork coming out strong.
Yeah, and really at this point, it's almost, there's not really any way to mark a player here, but you have to know where Nickel is on the field at any given time, because they're causing a lot of issues here. And fortunately for Trash Esports, those shots not quite on target. The Rocket League gods favoring them just for mere moments. Still a 0-0 game, but plenty of time for them to create a little bit of offensive presence here.
A lot of this ball has been in the Ignis half. It's actually a great pass. It's going to be slotted. No, it's off the post. Tuck is going to shove that one in, though. They commit the third. They get the first goal of game number 4. They are on the comeback trail. It's a phenomenal pass by Murky. The shot was perfectly slotted, just barely off the post. The woodwork coming in, but it helps out because it gets the bounce upward and allows Tuck just to come over the top of the entire defense and clear it out. You love to see them going early in game number 4.
Yeah, huge. And that was some close quarters, defense that had to be played there. And, when you're in, those kind of quarters, when you're in that close on the back line, it takes just the slightest touch to really kind of ruin any way that you're oriented and kind of immediately put you out of position. Less time for you to react. Reaction saves aren't going to work too well, especially at that distance. So well done for them to be able to put one away. Let's see if they can hold on to this lead.
Yeah, you have to be inhuman to be able to get those point blank reaction saves. I definitely don't have that kind of speed at 30 as Tug puts a very strong shot off the side. We're going to see the corner being put into play once again as Murky actually going to be able just to catch this one out. Beating 1, getting bumped out of the way. Going to beat 2. Can they beat 3? No, Nickel is solid on that back post rotation, and Brissinger going to get this one downfield. It's an awkward double touch, though, and it's going to be Murky coming in out of nowhere to play that off their own crossbar and get it away. And Murky looking for Nico on the transition play. There's one touch off the sidewall, going to be cleared out by Brissinger. Once again, down to Gorilla Plane, going to be cut off. The pace is picking up substantially, Cobra, and I love to see it.
Yeah, the back line for Trash Esports barely hanging on. Murky almost got caught as the third man, but well positioned, able to actually play the player, not the ball in that situation. And I'm actually surprised from Team Ignis that they haven't gone to a more demolition-heavy offense. I feel like they're flying around. They're making a lot of contact with players, but they're not quite taking them off the field. I'm actually interested to see if that's something that they're going to implement here, because I think they're going to get tired of these Trash Esports players being so well positioned. But Brissinger not going to worry about that, just going to worry about getting that waterfall shot there. Will equalize it.
Had the killer double commit in the midfield, leaving Murky back with basically no boost to their name whatsoever. The ball just water falling down, almost impossible to get a strong clear off of that, and Ignis is going to punish that 10 times out of 10 with how they've been playing tonight. We're going to see Nickel kicking this off. A good dunk right there by Murky, who's done a pretty good job so far, leading the stat line right now for Trash Esports. We're going to see if they can continue their hot streak, as this is going to be centered over to Brissinger. Not going to get much. Is Tuck going to kick that back out to the midfield. Nico's going to be in a race and lose it out to Nickel. Who else but Nickel winning the 50-50 with Murky. Good patience right there. Going to get dunked out by Nickel again on the cut rotation, as Gorilla Play not able to get the bump. 155 remaining. A little bit of a breakaway here for Trash Esports. We're going to see if they can pull it out.
Yeah, another double commit there. Unfortunately, not able to really do too much on this attacking play, and they're playing really close here, Trash Esports. I think they're trying to play off each other, but some of these offensive chances just kind of dissolving, fizzling away. They have to give each other a little bit more space to work. That way they'll be able to play off of challenges, off of, maybe mistakes, off of these little outplays.
Yeah, those little outplays aren't really coming through either, because Ignis is just continuing to push the pace and try to get in the face of Trash Esports as this is over to the side right now. Murky should have a beat here, going to sky it downfield, looking for Tuck. Can they get the redirect? It's a nice touch. This is going to be a strong shot on net. It's going to be saved out once again by who else but Nickel. We cannot sing their praises enough as Gorilla play with the dribble, but Murky solid on the back line, able to make the save, and this is tough sledding ahead for Trash Esports. Not a lot of boost to work with, just going for the clear, but they're still pressing forward. They want this game number 4, and they're willing to bet the farm to get it.
Yeah, so both of these teams, they're really starting to get creative, and you see some of these small decisions are really affecting who is going to get the next score. Whether it's the shot placement, whether it is the positioning, when to take some of these shots. It is getting to the wire. We got 30 seconds left to decide what kind of series we're going to get here.
It's been one of those days where we just saw 4 people up on the ball in the lobby about 10 seconds ago. They are fighting to get this done and dusted in regulation. It's a nice midfield pass. Bersinger going to be a little bit high on it. Nico is at least going to get a 50-50 off to the side. Murky, not a lot of boost here. Just kind of pre-jumps this one, trying to get it through Nickel. Nice pre-flip by Nico to continue this down the pitch. Unfortunately, going to be hit off the side. Here's Tuck off the backboard, looking for one. Bersinger doing a great job of just catching this. It's going to be killed. We have overtime in game number 4.
Yeah, really, I honestly think this goal can come up really quick from one of these teams. I think they're both kind of chomping at the bit to really start on the offensive side. Right now, it is going to be, looks like Team Ignis will have the possession here. Little flip reset. Oh, and the block coming through Nico. And now 1v1 on the other side. Murky trying to push it through. And that'll be what the goal to put it away to send us to game number 5 here. Only 23 seconds needed.
My, you love to see it right there. We get to go to a game 5. The overtime swinging, both of them, in fact, swinging in the way of Trash Esports. Just a little bit of an overcommit right there by Ignis. We were talking about their heat checks earlier, how they were feeling their mechanics. We saw a lot of kind of jumbled play from both teams in that last minute and the majority of overtime. But I also have to give a shout out to some other results that we have coming through right now. Of course, Circuitry Gaming going 3-1 against Best Buds United, and Escape Velocity winning 3-2 over New Horizons. So some close games happening off stream as well as on stream, as we're about to bring the game 5 right to you.
Well done to Circuitry Gaming. They're kind of evening up their score line there. So glad to see that we have some very exciting games on the other side, or at least off stream. Again, even though they're not on this stream, sometimes they are being casted by other casters on other streams. So be sure to at least check in on that. But obviously, we have a ton of action going on here. We're just gonna wait a bit because we want to make sure everyone has good connection for this game number 5. But again, props to Trash Esports for really kind of putting this last hurrah on that overtime. They're pushing it and it feels like we should see a game number 5 for this series.
Yeah, it has been so far. We got one more update coming to you right before we go to kickoff. Team Sonus is going to be 3-1 over RBG Claw. So, I mean, some more results coming in. Nico! Isn't it? It drops! It drops! We get a kickoff goal in game number 5?
Yeah, that is close by the thinnest of margins. Maybe on another server that bounces a different way, but here that goes in. And Trash Esports, they played pretty well when they have a lead, so we'll see if they can hold on to it here for the next 4 minutes and 50 seconds.
Gotta say, that's a good shout. They have not dropped the game where they've had a lead yet, so it's gonna be interesting to see as Tuck takes a 50. And that is just monstrous, just killed dead even in between both teams as Tuck looking to get another one here. Murky might be caught out. It's a great catch, but Brissinger going to do a great job getting around that ball. Tuck getting bumped out of the way. Brissinger with the redirect. Nico with the save once again, and Murky not going to have a lot of action here. Tuck's going to be able to push it off, and by the skin of their teeth, Trash Esports survive. Yeah,
but how long? They're very low on boost here, and if they continue this attack with as much ferocity as they are right now, Team Ignis do have a way through, but it looks like there is a clearance made by Tuck. Actually going to result to a shot. Murky going to test the waters, but the keeper up to the defensive task here. 4 minutes remain. Still a Trash Esports lead here.
It's a Trash Esports lead, and luckily Murky was able to get that. Go the boost line all the way down, stealing everything from Team Ignis, because otherwise he would not be in position to make that save. He was a bit awkward. Luckily able to come through as Nickel going to kick this down. Brissinger looking for the outlet, not going to find it. Murky pass all the way through. Is that just it? It is. The starvation is going to come through for Trash Esports, and they're looking to come back in the series and get this. It's just a light touch, but Gorilla Plane just doesn't have enough boost.
It's really cheeky. It's a really cheeky attempt there, going for the chip. You know, Nickel had possession there, and I think, you know, felt like they could get a little bit more power, and it wasn't going to go directly to the player Murky there. But the chip, and then the follow-up goal here, and Trash Esports, they have life here.
They have a bunch of life. 3 goals up right now, and Murky once again. I'm telling you right now, this man, straight up placement over power. That is what the name of the game is right now. Able to clear it over one just by delaying the touch, waiting and avoiding the bump, getting through a defender. Just losing my mind right now as this has gone through, as Nickel actually has a great pass over to Brissinger, and it's going to be Murky, of course, with another save.
Yeah, Team Ignis have to be scratching their heads after that one, because that was such a wonderful look. It seemed like that's like exactly the kind of shot that they needed. They finally got Trash Esports on the back line, but Murky just playing so well on both sides of the ball right now, keeping it 0 goals for Team Ignis.
It's a definite surprise here so far, as they have scored a goal at least in every game as we've gone on, and Ignis obviously had that 4-1 in game number 2 to kind of put the series almost on ice, but unfortunately for them, Trash Esports came back with a full squad, and they came back hungry, as it's working out in their favor. Brissinger going to do a great job getting that over the top. Tuck is going to be able to clear it over to the sidewall. Not the best touch. It's going to be right in front, and Gorilla Plane is not going to miss that one.
Yeah, that is a shot that he's going to hit 9 out of 10 times. You know, good opportunity, or good try from Nico to at least try to deflect that away from the shooter, but they read it well, got that ball up and towards the crossbar, and was able to sink it through.
And Cobra, I gotta say, still half a game left. There's by no means that Ignis is out of this yet, as Gorilla Plane gonna get dunked to Timbuktu as that one gets registered with a shot on. It's gonna be Tuck taken to the skies on this one. Gets it to the midfield, gets demoed for their efforts. Murky getting the 50-50 and nailing it down into the corner once again. And Gorilla Plane going for another dribble. This is not going in the direction with that they wish, but they pull a great 50-50 out right here as well, leaving Murky in a bit of an awkward spot. Gonna win a 50-50 to at least get it out. Murky not able to get that, as Brissinger with a little bit of a fake coming out, just being a nuisance, staying close to the ball. It's another fake in front. This might be dangerous. Brissinger does have the boost to deal with this, but not at the drop down. It's going to be right on Nico's hood, and the save made by Ignis. And it seems like this series might be flipping on its head just a little bit, even though both teams are scrambling.
Yeah, right now it's looking, you know, it's not quite as high flying. We're seeing a lot more of a kind of gritty game, where we're not seeing, like, you know, the infield passes as much as we're seeing just, you know, smart placement, you know, taking a lot of, you know, pressure off of, you know, the team play and putting it more on the individual. And I think both teams, you know, specifically Trash Esports, doing really well in their clearances of the ball. I think they're doing well when it's over the goal line. We've seen them have a little bit of issue with that in the past couple games, but they're taking a lot of time to make sure someone gets up for that there's a cover there, and the back line exposed for a little bit. The ball, unfortunately, not on target, and we have a minute remaining. Team Ignis has to dig deep, find 2 goals.
I feel like they have to find one soon too, Cobra, because right now, I mean, other than that overcommit that wasn't punished, Trash on defense has looked pretty solid. Murky has just always been in the right spot at the right time, just registering a savior medal right there. The 3rd save coming out from them, as it's a great demo in front as well. and there is Trash Esports just coming out on top. Murky with just the chase down, Nickel not with the best touch, and just leaves, unfortunately, Gorilla Plane in a terrible position, not able to recover from that demo, and Murky has 735 points in a series point game.
You know, there's a couple different ways that players take over matches. As you see a nice little fake kickoff there. There's a couple different ways that players take over matches. You have players that, you know, look like they're mechanically the best on the field and they're going for absolutely everything. And then you have what Murky's doing right here. It's like not necessarily looking extremely mechanical, but just reading the game so well. Kind of has a pulse on everything that's going on and is making the right play, the smart play every single time. And that has led Trash Esports to be in a huge lead here. Not nearly enough time for Team Ignis to get back into this one. And against all odds, against, you know, the internet gods, we are seeing Trash Esports. They will take the win, even though we have a wonderful goal from Team Ignis, but too little too late here.
I don't know if I can write it off yet. There could be a weird ball that goes straight into the net and leads us to a kickoff that has the potential to. And you were talking about the pulse and the finger on the pulse that Murky has on this game. We could almost call it a turbo pulse because it is he's positioning like a god so far in the series. And you are correct. You know what? I just wanted to leave it open-ended. You know, you don't want to call a game when there is still technically a chance. I mean, I know I've thrown a game with 5 seconds left.
Right.
You know, controller disconnect, anything crazy can happen. As that was in front of the net. It's not going to matter though. Trash Esports at full strength is going to take game 5. And honestly, in my opinion, one of the closest series we've seen so far in the Invitational.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I do want to give props to Team Ignis because I think when they were all kind of, you know, on fire, when they all had, you know, just that connection, I think they looked like such a dangerous team here. But honestly, I would love to see a rematch of this. I want to see, you know, if they play, you know, 5 series, you know, who would win all of those games. I think this is a team that you got to watch for. I did, you know, I will admit I did kind of disparage them a little bit early, but I'm really kind of impressed with what they put on the field today.
I'm definitely impressed with what they put on the field. You know, you keep talking about how Trash is one of the blue chip organizations here, and they came out and they made a statement, took them to game 5. Obviously one game had unfortunate circumstances. We're just going to look over that one because I mean, Trash still looked really good during that game. It still sounds weird saying Trash looked really good. It typically doesn't unless you're, you know, a raccoon, but definitely love to see them for sure. You know, I would love to see that at full strength, like you said, and like 5 best of 5s, because I think it'd be like a 60-40 split. It'd be super close.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, for both these teams, I think that they're going to want to run it back. I think that they, specifically for Team Ignis, I feel like what their peak was a little bit higher than what I saw, at least here in this series from Trash Esports. I just think they weren't unable to maintain it and unable to jump off to that early start here. But, you know, like they say, one man's trash is another one's treasure, and it looks like Trash Esports have found that treasure here. Regardless of the situation, they are looking pretty in this series and continuing to move on in their winning ways.
Yeah, and I mean, they're continuing on in their winning ways. 3-1 so far in this modified Swiss version. Of course, you can hit exclamation point bracket or Liquipedia if you want to catch up with how everything else has been going. I don't think we have any other updates for you currently, so... we have an interview coming up, though, of course, with one of the players off of Trash Esports, so that's going to be mega hype, so be sure to stick around for that. I got to get your final thoughts, though, because like you said, Ignis's peak was so strong during this series, Cobra. So, like, what do you think looking forward to them is something that they might be able to either improve on, or can they capture that lightning in a bottle and keep sending it for the rest of the time?
Yeah, I think I will talk about that after we, you know, entertain our wonderful interviewee here, because I would love to get into that. But we have Just Tuck coming in from Trash Esports. How are you doing, sir?
I don't know. Good, I guess. I don't know. Well, that was scuffed.
yeah. I was about to say it was a little bit of panic, I'm sure, on you guys, but you do manage to get the series win regardless. Like, take us in to the team comms. What was going on? How did you guys manage to get through that series? Give us a tell-all.
I don't know. We just kept yelling at Nico to get his internet back up. Like, it happened in the scrim beforehand, and then we're like, okay, he should be fine after it came back up, and then it just kept happening. So we kept yelling at him to get it back up. That's pretty much it. We just hoped and prayed.
Hey, that's GOAT tier comms right there. I'm going to be honest with you. Just yelling at one player incessantly, like, what's wrong with your game, bro? Get it together. We need you. I actually want to ask you about that game number 3. Obviously, Nico drops out, and y'all only lose by 2 goals. And I was that a momentum kind of builder for you guys? Because you had opportunities on offense down a person, and you were still able to swing it with that close of a game after they won 4-1 at full strength the game beforehand. Did y'all kind of feel like if y'all got Nico back, y'all were going to take the series after that?
I mean, yeah, we figured if Nico could actually, stay in the game, we'd win. So once he did, that was nice to see.
So talking a little bit when you guys, were a entire unit, Team Ignis was giving you a little bit of trouble, especially in the early game. They kind of jumped on top of you guys early in game number 2. What was the thought in terms of like the adjustments that you guys made to kind of temper the peak of that team?
Dodge their onslaught of bumps and demos, and just score. Put the ball in the back of the net. But the big thing was not get demoed and bumped 24/7.
I don't want to quote John Madden here, but the team with the most score typically wins at the end of the game. So when you get those goals in the back of the net, it certainly seems to work out for you. And I just want to go ahead and apologize to you because I called you Just Cuck for the first half of the broadcast. And then I realized that your name is Just Tuck because you want us just to call you Tuck. So that's on me, brother. So go back and watch this and then reach out to me on Twitter and chastise me. I would love to see it for sure.
I mean, I get called Truck, so there's a bunch of stuff that I can be called. There's one with an F that is big.
Possibly big. We try not to say that on broadcast.
Yeah.
We'll just keep it PG.
Yeah.
I think one more question before we let you go here. So you guys are in a really good spot in terms of your series wins. You guys are, towards the top of the leaderboard.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. Just in case you guys are 3-1. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you guys feel about your season so far, and what are you like? Is there any team that you're kind of looking forward to playing later on in this split, or is there anyone that's on your radar?
Because I know Electro's there. We want to play them again. Or we thought we were going to play them in the finals last season, and then Wit decided to bring it back, so we'd actually like to see how it would go against them. And the main Origin team, I'm just interested to see how that goes.
It's definitely interested. 3 teams on the list for you guys to play. It's definitely excited. Definitely eager to go against those teams, and we're definitely eager to see you guys in the future. So I want to say, of course, thank you so much, Tuck, for stopping on by and having the interview with us. And it's been a great night, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Cobra, we've gotten through 2 series, my man. We got 1 more to go. We got the matchup of the undefeated rosters coming up. Of course, after this, it's going to be massive. I'm just so hyped for this, but kind of returning to the question I had for you about Ignis beforehand, how can they continue to catch that lightning in a bottle to be able to push themselves to that peak that we saw in that game number 2?
Yeah, I think something that we saw when they were most successful is, obviously we saw them play at their best when they were ahead. And I think it was because they were so confident in, their offense working, being faster than the other team, kind of stealing a ton of boost. Tuck was just talking about the bumps and demos, and I saw like they, maybe not as quite many demos, but they were so hyper physical in terms of getting people out of their way. I think they need to really lock into doing that when they're down, still work on that playstyle, even though they might not be in the, score wise, it might not be the same advantage that they have. I think that's when they're playing the best. I think they need to focus on, trying to keep up that kind of style just regardless. Make that the default, and then I think things will go much better for them.
Yeah, of course, shout out to Trash to bringing it back against those bumps, against those demos. I believe we're going to be taking a short break here to give ourselves a little bit of breath after casting that 5-game series for you guys. We're going to be right back with Origin Gaming 2 versus Wet Esports. We'll be back in 5. Don't miss us by coming back.